Welcome to the Vault Excel. This commentary I'm going to play to you is Rudy Farias speaking to various networks pertaining to allegations made about his mother, his feelings toward his mother, and what he has been doing the past 8 years. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $McAngie129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are welcome during the live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's get started.
All right. Are you shocked at how much attention this is?
Yeah, a lot. It's a lot of attention. It kind of gets me overwhelmed, just try to stay positive, just try to keep my mentality straight and honest and true and just spread positivity and kindness,
So the world thought you were missing for 8 years. Where were you? Where have you been?
Just at home. Just stuck at home, if somebody would come over, my mom would just tell me stay in the room, keep the door locked, don't let them in, don't make any sounds, don't do anything,
Tell us about what it was like living there. Were you allowed to leave the room? Was she holding you there against your will?
She never locked me in or, handcuffed me or anything like that. I had free will to leave. It just felt like brainwashing, honestly. It just kept confusing me, just the way, she would manipulate me into saying, oh, you're going to get arrested because you have a speeding ticket or something, something minor, something innocent. And then it would just kind of escalate into just people sorry.
You're good.
Which is,
Take your time.
Yeah, it just escalated from there, from, just wanting to get away from home, just be free, live my own life. Arguing all the time, and then we eventually just went into she locked me in there pretty much mentally, just that she was my only parent. She was the only person I ever really had besides my brother. So when I lost my brother, I didn't have anybody to teach me how to live, how to have confidence or trust in myself or anything, so I just depended on my mom all my life.
What had you been doing for those 8 years?
Just trying to study the best I can online, understand how the world works, understand different cultures, different religions, different everything, because my life, I just believe that we should stop putting labels on everything and just understand the communities and the prosperity and the growth and the positivity, because there's just too much fighting, there's too much anger, there's too much depression and mental health.
I don't know what the hell's going on with this commentary. And it's 2 minutes and 18 seconds in out of 28 minutes and 58 seconds. Because now he's veering off the subject. Brittany, what do you have to say about this? Brittany? Oh, Brittany was joining me.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I was on mute.
What do you have to say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What do you have to say about those few words about the world and whatever? I don't know what he's talking about.
I find it very strange. Very, very strange. I don't really know what to say about that. I don't know how to interpret what he's saying. I mean, I get what he's saying, but it's odd.
The problems in the world.
Still under the influence.
Say what?
I said, I'm curious if he is still under the influence. I don't know. I mean, because that's some strange statements.
We need to spread more positivity, because all of it, everything around us, it's an algorithm that they control through social media and through the colors and just everything. If you see something white, like a white wall or a white pillowcase or a white car driving around the place, you'll just understand that, you're just trying to have a positive thought, and then you'll look at something white and get sidetracked, and you'll get distracted about stuff and things, and then you'll find
What is he talking about? Looking at something white and get distracted. I don't get distracted when I look at the color white, so I don't know what he's speaking about. Possibly he is under the influence of drugs, coming down from drugs, or it has affected him somehow. So now we have to ask ourselves, how long has he been under the influence of narcotics? Did his mother give him the narcotics? Because what he's saying here doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Hello?
I can't hear you good.
Well, do you want me to call you back?
Yeah, try calling back. I can't hear you at all.
Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. Oh, I've got Brittany from North Carolina joining me. I don't know what's going on. Hello?
Okay. Okay, I can hear you better now. I don't know.
Okay. The color white, it's a distraction.
I don't understand that.
I don't either.
Colors don't distract me.
Certain colors don't distract you?
No, I mean, nothing I'm aware of. I mean, I've always heard of like darker colors in your bedroom can, set like a mood for like, I don't know, more of a depressed mood and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as distract me in my...
He's jumping off the subject. That's where I have the problem. Talking about colors and the world and what does it have to do with what they're asking? You understand what I'm saying? Because they're wanting to know what's been going on with you in the past 8 years. You're talking about colors and people uniting. It has nothing to do with what they're asking.
No.
And he goes around and around throughout this interview. Let's go ahead and try to finish this.
Stuff like a pink wall or something, or pink whatever, and then you just be reminded of, somebody trying to help you, prosperity, just somebody loving people, and red, people confuse that for anger or hate, and it's only anger or hate, these type of things, if you look at it that way,
Police said a lot of times that you were 17 when this happened and you're an adult. You spoke a little bit about this, about some of the family trauma you've had growing up. Talk about the fact that although you're an adult, how difficult it was for you to be in this situation and maybe not be able to get out of.
It felt like Stockholm syndrome, honestly. Like, just held against my will mentally, not physically, just constantly, like, she was bombarding me with negative thoughts, and like every time I come around her, she just makes me, it's like little triggers just pop up, and
holding him against his will mentally. We have learned throughout the week that he talked to neighbors, went into neighbors' homes, garages, talked to them. So why didn't he leave? Why didn't he reach out to other relatives? Why didn't he try to talk to other people who could help him get away from his mother? The mother was negative. She was feeding him negative thoughts, such as what? Don't do this, don't do that. Because you will hear him say she nagged a lot. Always telling him not to do this, don't go anywhere, you'll get in trouble, you'll be wanted by the law for tickets, blah, blah, blah. Then why stay? Because people are going to ask that question. Why stay? But he alludes to the fact that she's all he knew, all he had. He studied different people and situations on the internet. That's not really real, is it? Because you're not dealing with people. You're not interacting. But the flip side, once again, he talked to neighbors. You hear people say he was in their home. He talked to them. So why didn't he try to go out in the world, mingle with other people? Brittany, what do you have to say about that?
I mean, it seems like he has plenty of opportunities to get away if he wanted. I understand that, that she's all he's ever had, so I don't know how he would really function without her, and obviously that's what kept him from getting away. But if it was a situation that he needed help with, I feel like there was a lot of people around that he possibly could have gotten help. I don't know, it's all very strange. It's very strange.
Well, I want to know why he didn't reach out to his relatives. You hear him say he was in the room and he stayed in the room and didn't come out. Why would you not ask, why can't I come out? So did he ask his mother, why am I staying in here? Why do you want me in here? Why can't I talk to our relatives, aunties, uncles, cousins? That's what I want to know. And I didn't get none of that in this interview. They didn't ask pertinent questions. Why didn't you ask your mom, why you must be in this room? Hey, mom, why are you so negative? Hey, why can't I talk to my family? Why am I staying in this room with the door closed? See, I don't get none of this. I don't get any of this. Hello?
No, I don't either. It's very strange. It's just, the whole interview is very strange in my opinion. Especially with the colors and all that. I mean, that's not what they're talking about. I mean, I don't know. It's weird for sure.
Okay.
It's like if I'm trying to get away from my mom, I'll hear a random noise and it'll be like a little reminder in my head, like, don't do that, don't say this, or, you know, just little things like she's putting ideas or thoughts into my head whenever I'm just trying to, you know, just understand the world.
Do you think your mom took advantage of you?
Heavily.
How does that feel? I mean, I can't imagine. You said your mom's really the only person in your family you have. How was that you felt your own mom took advantage?
It's like I lived in prison. It's like I lived in a jail my whole life. I just wanted to be free. I wanted to have my own job. I just wanted to live my life. I just wanted to just love somebody, you know, have somebody else that would actually love me, because I wasn't sure what love was. I struggled understanding my emotions.
He wanted somebody else to love him besides Janie Santana, which is his biological mother. Brittany.
I mean, it sounds like he experienced enough of the real world to know what was going on wasn't right as well, if that makes sense. You know, it seems like he was aware that, you know.
Well, why not leave?
I can't answer that.
Why stay in a room? That's the part I don't understand. Because at some point he's gone out because he's had interactions with the law. So that means you've left that house at some point. You're given aliases.
Right.
So what are those things about?
That really confuses me with the given aliases and, you know, being pulled over, because I don't understand how that works. I mean, I'm just thinking about the area that I live in. If you get pulled over, let's say you don't have a driver's license with you and they want your name or your social security. I don't know. I always have my driver's license. I don't really know how that would work. But I feel like that they would definitely verify that you are a legit person before they're letting you leave. So I don't know if these were people that were actually.
But how are you going to verify? I don't think you can verify. I have to commit a crime for you to run my fingerprints.
No, I'm saying says he gets a speeding ticket. He said it's something about he gets a speeding ticket.
Then what name did he give?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, now that's very odd to me that there were interactions with the police and
nobody knew that he was missing. That's where I have a problem.
Right.
Billboards of him, but you don't know he's missing until this fiasco, and now you jog your memory back. So I'd like to know how many run-ins has he and Janie had with law enforcement in Houston or any other jurisdictions, and what were they about? And how is it that you all never found out who he was legally and Janie? And why was she hiding him from the family? And as I said in my previous commentary, was this a ruse to get money, GoFundMe, and or insurance money? Was she trying to make it seem like he was dead to get a life insurance policy on him? Because in most states, if a person has been missing for 7 years, by law, he or she is deemed deceased. And if you had a policy on that person, you could collect.
I don't know, but I'm sad that I'm sending out negative energy. Yeah.
Say what?
And at this point, it had been 8 years, so I guess maybe she felt like she was getting close to where she could declare him.
So let's ask that. Does she have an insurance policy on Mr. Farias? Do you believe she has a life insurance policy on him?
I think anything's possible in this case. Okay. I think it's very possible.
I understand when I'm happy and sending out positive energy. The only way I was under understanding how to communicate with people was online. And even then, you can't trust everything you see online because half the time people are just making their own assumptions and spinning what they want. And just, I can't ever speak my truth because everybody wants to assume things.
Can you go into the brainwashing? What would she say to you? Would she say something would happen if you were to leave her home?
It wasn't that. It's just after I left, I started to understand that all of it's just an algorithm. It's literally all an algorithm. If you look at something black, you understand that they understand. If you look at something white, it'll confuse you and you're trying to go in a positive direction. If you look at something red, it'll remind you.
What is he talking about? Algorithm and black and white and red. And I forgot what I was going to say before that about leaving the house. If my face looks crazy, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit tired, and listening to this is daunting to me.
It's odd. I don't really know what he's trying to say with any
And
of this.
they, who are they? You talking about her? She's saying things to you that's making you feel a certain type of way, and then he factors in colors, which I don't understand what they have to do with anything.
I have no idea either. It's very confusing.
Red is what? Something mean, but it doesn't mean that. I don't understand this. It seems to me that when you do an interview, if you're talking to someone and it veers into the macabre and strange, you're supposed to know how to try to veer it back on track. I don't think they did a good job with that.
No.
Because he's off the subject. She asks you a question, and then next thing you know, you're talking about colors and algorithms and all that. I don't understand what the hell's going on. And why didn't he ever try to go find a family member? He doesn't remember anybody. So then you have to go back in time. What was his life like as a child? Did he go places, do things, play with children, field trips, go to the movies? What? It's the death of the other son, the reason why she was protective of him and didn't want him to go out into the world, see the world.
Possibly.
You have love. If you look at green, it'll remind you of, like grounding people that are there for you and stuff, And
Did you feel stuck? And
the color green.
What was she doing exactly that kept you hidden?
it's just every time I would try to leave or, try to do things for myself, like I want to go get my own money, I want to go work a different job, I want to do this and that, they would always just come right back around to just don't do that, or it's bad, don't do that, like cops are going to come out, they're going to do this, they're going to arrest you if you're driving a car without a license or this and that. And it's just like,
is that beeping on
how do you
TV?
expect me to get a license to drive a car if I can't even go out?
What?
It's beeping in this TV, isn't it? In this audio, somebody's alarm was beeping. Where did they do this interview? I'm wondering.
I don't know.
All I do is work 12-hour shifts 7 days a week and I get $60. Like, I don't understand how that's fair.
Why do you think she wanted to keep you hidden?
I don't know. It all started just because I had a speeding ticket. I went like 70 and a 55 trying to go to work. And then when that all started, it's just like...
Where was his job? What name did he use for the job? And what was the job? Because we get information that allegedly the mother used him to work for her, which makes no sense because if she was a security officer, she would be sitting and just doing absolutely nothing. So what job was he doing for her allegedly? And what was his job if he had a separate job? So none of this makes any sense. Said 1 hour dry floors. What? It was her job. We already know about that, him taking her to work. Y'all not listening. If I have a security job and I don't do anything, what do I need him for? If all I do is sit in a chair and watch four corners, what would I need him for? Unless she had to get up and actually walk around the building and check, checkpoints, door points, but still they're going to see that you're not doing the job. This makes no sense to me.
I think it would be strange to be bringing someone to your job as well.
I wasn't able to have a life. I was starting to working and growing and, provide for myself. And then after that happened, I couldn't do it.
I think the question everyone has is why your mom would lie and say that you've been missing for 8 years. Did she ever tell you, or did you ever ask, Mom, why are we pretending that I'm missing?
And that's the thing. When it comes to the real small details like that, I don't remember. It's like it just blocks it out. Like she's blocking it out for me or something. It's like I just want to remember the facts. I just want to understand, who.
See, this is where I have a problem. He's talking in circles, but yet he can't answer the question. You don't remember what your mother told you, why she was hiding you out? How would you not remember that? This is crazy to me. It's like she's trying to block it out. So at 17, from 17 to 25, 26, because he clarifies that as well during this interview, that he's a 26-year-old man. How's it that you won't remember what she said, why she doesn't want you to go out and do things? I'm so...
I would think that would be something that was repeatedly said that you could give an answer to.
Mm-hmm. Because he says it all started with the speeding ticket.
Right.
I'm getting sick of this bitch. It's starting to make my fucking head hurt.
I am, and what I'm trying to do, and just try to live my life the way I want to, not how she wants me to.
Intermission. What's your take, Brittany?
I don't really know what to think, honestly. I don't. I think it's all very strange. I don't feel like he's very forthcoming in a way. Okay. I feel like, he's leaving a lot.
So do you believe he's hiding something or not telling the truth?
I think it's possible he's not telling the complete truth, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I would always ask her stuff like, when am I going to get a job? When am I going to have my own car? When am I going to be able to make my own decisions? When am I going to be able to just go out and be free? Like, why can't we just go to the police station? Why can't I just get a lawyer? Why can't I just do that? And she's like, oh, you can't get a lawyer because it's too much money. We can't do that because it's too much money. Everything was always just money, 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 money. It's a constantly money.
If you had to guess why she was doing this.
I don't understand this comment. Why would you be needing a lawyer? For what?
It sounds like he's saying that it's something to do with that speeding ticket. It's how I understood it. But
why would I need a lawyer? Brittany, come on now. Who needs a lawyer for a speeding ticket? You're either speeding. Listen, you either speeding or you weren't. It's not rocket science.
Right, well, I'm sure
but most people. But I'm just saying, most people just go on and plead guilty. They read the whatever. He docked you with the machine. It said you were doing 70. He just said he was doing 70. So why would he need a lawyer for that?
Well, I may be completely misunderstanding it, but
because he's really not telling you what he needs a lawyer for. Listen, he's not telling you what he needs a lawyer for. What he needs a lawyer for.
No.
And then he's talking about money. So see, he's talking in circles. I don't even understand what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't either.
This is what pisses me off about people who do interviews. Why don't you ask? You're too busy trying to ask the questions you want to ask, and he's not giving you really the answer you want. So why don't you ask him to clarify the stuff that he's talking around in circles about? Because that's what an interviewer is supposed to do. When people jump off the subject and they talk around in circles, You're supposed to ask them, okay, well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by the algorithm? What do you mean by the color red? What do you mean by the color white? What do you mean by the color black? Just ask to see if he can give you a concrete answer. It's strange. My next says the story is shady as you know what. In my opinion, surface level questions and answers.
Was she making money from you being missing, as far as you know?
I don't know. I think somebody at one point mentioned something about an original GoFundMe page. And then my mom wanted to say something about like one of my aunts or something was like stole all the sodas or something. And meanwhile, where's all the money that they raised, you know? Like, and where did that go to helping fight?
Did he say something about sodas? Hello?
Yes, I heard something about sodas, but I couldn't understand what he's saying.
And then he said all the money they raised, where did it go? My understanding, only $2,000 were raised. So what date did she start the GoFundMe page? When was the last time she received a payment? We do know that GoFundMe has stopped the page. They have taken down the page. Will there be charges against her for defrauding people out of their money? Because from my understanding, she has basically admitted that the son was never missing. He was alive. So will she give a reason why she hid her son out, wanted him to stay in, blah, blah, blah. As he said, no shackles, no form of restraints, but just mental bondage, hostage, whatever, however you want to word it. How's it that these people did not know this boy was still in this fucking house? I don't understand. The journey says, oh my God, he's making it up as he goes. Very good point. Thank you. Because that sounds about right. If you keep listening. Do you believe, Brittany, he's making this up as he goes along?
Yes, I think it's very possible he's making it up as he goes along, for sure.
Okay.
So we have video. We actually, Fox 26, we interviewed your mother while you were in the hospital 10 years ago in 2012. What happened? Why were you in the hospital? And I guess it was mentioned to our reporter at the time that you had cancer.
I had a tumor on my heel at one point, but that was irrelevant. Originally, I think all that had started because she wanted me to fake taking like a bottle of Tylenol or like Aleve PM or something, sleeping pills.
Wait a minute,
And
let me
then
go
she
back.
wanted to fake me.
Fake. He said she wanted me to fake something.
I have video. We actually, Fox 26, we interviewed your mother while you were in the hospital 10 years ago in 2012. What happened? Why were you in the hospital? And I guess it was mentioned to our reporter at the time that you had cancer.
I had a tumor on my heel at one point, but that was irrelevant. Originally, I think all that had started because she wanted me to fake taking like a bottle of Tylenol or like Aleve PM or something, sleeping pills. And then she wanted to fake me going to the hospital, and she pretty much just forced me to go into the ER and be like, hey, act like you're sick and you're overdosing. And
This was before you were missing.
Yes, sir.
Why? Why was this?
I missed that. Munchausen
He
syndrome.
says this originally started because he had a tumor on his heel. Then she
But originally it started because of a ticket, right?
I don't know, because then he says it originally started and she wanted me to take a bottle of Tylenol or Aleve PM. Like,
And fake, and
she wants me to fake
and
going
then
to
say
the
and fake that
hospital.
I overdose. That's what he just said.
But if you had a tumor on your heel, wouldn't you just go for the tumor on your heel?
Brittany, I'm so weak right now. If I look dazed out to you guys, please don't mind me. Queen has not been getting enough sleep.
It's too much. Like, honestly, when I watched this, I really was like, okay, I think I'm done with this. it's just a lot going on.
Let me say this to people in the chat. I'm not about to get rude with you all, but please don't come in the chat like you know what the fuck is going on in this story, okay? That's why I'm not really saying a lot, because I've listened to some of this. It's bullshit. You don't know these people. You don't really know why any of this started, because he's talking in circles for one. Either he's making this shit up or he's under the influence of narcotics. His mind is messed up. I don't know. But allegedly, at the beginning of this live stream, only 9 minutes in, he said this started with a ticket. Did he not? Hello?
Yeah, I mean.
Now we've gone from a ticket to cancer in the heel, a tumor in the heel.
I think Journey's got it right. I think he's possibly on something.
Yeah, because you're talking about algorithms, different colors. This all started because of a ticket. Now 9 minutes in, I'm at 9:06. If you need it verified, 28 minutes and 58 seconds, this video. It's now about a tumor on a heel. And she wants him to fake taking pills and overdosing. Exactly what he just said.
Okay, keep playing.
I don't even remember. I think it was something to do with school. I was depressed and I was cutting my wrist when I was, getting sad. I didn't have an idea how to, understand my emotions. It was after my brother passed away. I didn't know how to. Why was he cutting his wrist? He missed his brother. He was lonely. What? Any other brothers and sisters? What? Anybody visiting him? Why are you subjecting this child to be in the house alone and seeing that he needs camaraderie with friends, family, whatever?
If I'm putting anything together at all, I feel like a lot of this seems to stem from after the brother passed away. A lot of the issues seem to arise. I feel like that may be something.
But see, Brittany, we don't have a sequence of anything. We don't know which is first. You got the ticket first or the brother died first. This is what I'm saying. These people are not asking the fucking right questions. If I see somebody's talking in circles, I'm going to ask, when did your brother die? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's the only way you're going to get halfway to the truth is you have to ask specific questions. You cannot let a person keep talking and talking and talking because it's obviously something wrong with him. So he's going to talk over here, over here, over here. You have to say, well, when did your brother die? What year was that? Do you remember? When did you start cutting yourself? When did you get the ticket? That way you can put the sequences together if indeed any of this is even true. But see, you don't even know what the hell is truth, what the truth is. You're just getting information. You don't even know which is which. The dates, the times, nothing. Just let him tell it all. That started with a fucking ticket. So we've gone from a ticket, his foot, to the brother dying. Him cutting himself. But there's no sequence.
Deal with pain and depression, so I'll just literally just rip a Coke can open and just run it on my wrist like a cheese grater just to feel something.
Your brother was a big part of your life, the one who passed away. Yeah. Talk to us about that, and was that a major part in this, how you were feeling with depending on your mom?
Yes, ma'am. He would take care of me. He would take me to and from school. He would pick me up. He would get me McDonald's. Just be little jokes and stuff. And after he had passed away, I just wasn't able to, love myself or anything anymore. I wasn't able to have somebody like a father figure. He was my brother, but I never had a dad. I only had stepdads. I didn't know how to grow up. I I didn't know what I was doing as I was growing up. I didn't understand how to take care of myself, how to wash myself, how to make doctor's appointments, how to do anything, because I never had a chance.
What would you have?
Did he just say he didn't know how to wash himself?
Yeah, okay, so he's 25 now. In 2011 is when the brother died. It sounds like the brother took a lot of care of him, possibly. I don't
Have to say to police that say, well, he was an adult?
What do you mean?
It seems like in this case, you didn't have the support there that you needed, and police seem so focused on your age that you were 17, which is an adult in Texas. But can you talk about the fact that, yes, you were an adult, but the mindset that you've been in?
Yeah, it was just like a constant brainwashing, like the Stockholm type of syndrome, where it's just, you just fall in love with your captive and just want to take care of them, do this and that, like it was just
Stockholm syndrome. You fall in love with your captive. That's not good. The wording is not good. How do you feel about what he just said?
I don't know how to feel about any of this, if I'm being honest. I don't.
I can't even get my thoughts. I feel like I'm just like, in a tunnel listening to this.
I mean, yeah, because if I just did the math correctly on when his brother died to how old he is now and subtracted all that, he would have been 13-ish maybe, and he didn't know how to wash himself. What?
How was Rudy Farias raised? Who all lived in the house? Different men, women, cousins, brothers, what? Anybody touching the children, anything, by mother, boyfriends, friends, relatives, what? We have an Aunt Pauline saying that child abuse, sexual abuse was rampant.
Something.
And nobody did anything. Why not? Why would you all be letting somebody be around your children and they're abusing your children? Period. So was his mother sexually abused by a father, uncle, grandfather, what?
But why didn't you get the kid help if he's running a Coke bottle over his arm like a cheese grater? That's what he said. You heard that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, what? I don't know. I think it's possible that maybe he was a victim turned participant.
Could be. Yes. Victim turned co-conspirator. Because once you have been taught to lie, manipulate, you will eventually emulate that. How could you not?
Right, because all you've ever known is, to lie and scam. And
So that's why I said, how was he raised up until 17? What was his life like up until 17? What traumatic event started this bullshit? Because he's named at least 3 things so far. So I'd like to hear from the mother, which I know that's like talking to the wall. What actually happened in that house for her to want this child to stay in? Was it the death of the brother? What? Did he actually go to work and work for her? If he did, what did he do? Nobody noticed anything on cameras. This guy in the room, facility building, doing work that the mother's supposed to be doing. So just none of this makes any sense. He's talking about he only made $60 a week with 12-hour shifts. Then tell us what you were doing. Don't you find it interesting about everything he said? He doesn't back it up with a receipt.
no, I don't know. I don't know if this is the drug use or
Right.
what. Is this part of a new scam? Like a new scam
Yeah.
on his own?
Yeah. I'm finally getting what I've been wanting, which is attention. The mother's crazy. She's wanting attention. Now he steps up, found in front of a church. Now I can get all the validation, attention I've been wanting. New notoriety. Is that what's going on here? I don't know.
I don't know. I can't really make heads or tails of what's going on here.
Constantly just being me trying to help and just take care of my mom, do whatever she needs because I cared about her and she's the only person I had.
Did your mom, over those last 8 years, did she say anything or like, is there anything that sticks out in your mind that bothers you or that you remember conversations with her that
Just, I don't know, I used to have to sleep in their bed sometimes. I don't remember why, just like next to her. It wouldn't be anything sexual or anything like that. I wouldn't lie about that because there's plenty of people that need honest truths when it comes to those things. That just muddies the water to lie about those type of things.
So you say you slept in her bed, but you don't know why. The truth needs to be told, but yet your friend who you told this version to allegedly, you said nothing about him in the context of the lie. Why not? Mr. Quanell X. Rudy, what the fuck is going on? Exactly, Journey. He talks a lot and tells us nothing. That'll lead people to think that he has been groomed by his mother. And he is now picking up the slack of Janie Santana. Sadly. Because your mother went and looked for Mr. Quanell. Quanell told what allegedly you said to him about kissing and showering and bathing and all this stuff, but he never said that you all had sex, you and your mother. Now you haven't talked to him. You'll hear that later. Why? Why not? And you basically said in this interview, oh, ain't nothing went on. I slept in her bed. But like Mr. Quanell said to the reporter, like, hey, you do the math. Why's a grown person sleeping in the bed with her mother?
Right.
So most people are going to think, yeah, something went on. You watching your son bathe, you pulling back the curtain, watching, then you step in there and ask him to bathe you. He hides under the bed. This is allegedly what you told Quanell. But now in this interview, you don't say nothing. You want to say, oh, well, people want to know the truth. But isn't this what you told Mr. Quanell? So why don't you tell the truth about what you told him? Did these things happen or not? Your boundaries violated. And what were the boundaries exactly? See, this is making me sick.
Those were the two words that they both used, which was interesting.
So that's why, he had to have told Quanell something because they both used the same damn words. Exactly. Boundaries crossed. Exactly. And Quanell never said the boy had sex with his mother. He just said kissing, tongue kissing, sleeping in the bed naked, bathing, her watching him in the shower, which would make the average person assume something nefarious went on between the mother and the son. So I don't know if he just doesn't want to own that something went on between he and his mother because the situation is already jacked up. This is a ploy to get attention. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
That's where I said the media, they like to twist my words and confuse things. I never said anything bad about her in that regard, but, just boundaries. She would.
I didn't say anything bad about her. The media wants to twist our words. Well, your friend put that out because that's what you told him, Rudy. That your mother was kissing you, wanting you to sleep in the bed naked. So I'm going to ask you, the queen, did you not tell Mr. Quanell X those things? And why are you not speaking to him now? And why are you trying to blame the media when you were the one allegedly telling Mr. Quanell X this? And your mother went and looked for Mr. Quanell X when you were found in front of a church. So you all started this bullshit. Don't try to blame the media. Because the media is only feeding off what was told allegedly by you to Mr. Quanell. Because Cornell doesn't know you. News Nation doesn't know you. The news stations don't know you. They know Mr. Cornell. So you told him something. So verify it. Stop this nonsense. Is Rudy Farias a liar? He is the product of his mother, a seed, tainted seed of Miss Santana. She's groomed her son sexually, mentally, giving him drugs. What? Because he doesn't talk like he's all there. And many people comment, he acts as if he talks like he knows what he's talking about. No, he doesn't. He's talking in circles. I have a problem with this.
Is it possible that this is some sort of cover-up for the shower scenario by him?
Bernadette says they're all lying.
So I kind of feel the same way too. But I'm wondering, is this news, I didn't know how to bathe myself, a cover-up for kind of maybe the story he told Quanell that led into something about a shower? You see what I'm saying?
That don't make any sense, Brittany. She said, wash me.
Oh, I didn't hear him say wash me.
Yeah, remember he said she pulled the shower curtain back, watched him, and then next thing you know, he's bathing her.
Oh, well, he says he don't know how to bathe his own damn self, so I don't know.
Brittany.
Like I said, I agree with they all lying. Except the neighbors. I give the neighbors credit,
So
but
who's telling the truth in this story? The neighbors, Aunt Pauline, who? And we still have a problem with you, Pauline, you letting your mother lay up in the house with this woman, and your mother was not well taken care of by Miss Santana. You should have gotten your mother out of there. So who last had custody of the mother?
Yeah, I don't trust the aunt either. I don't 100% trust any of them other than what the neighbors have said. I don't feel like
Journey says all QX has to do is release the recording. Well, that's what Brittany's been saying for the past 2 days.
Yep.
Mr. Cornell X, everybody wants you to release the recording, at least these two people. Brittany and Miss Journey want you to release it, so just release it and be done with it. If you have a recording of what he said to you, you might as well. He's throwing you under the bus. He's not saying you're lying, but he's basically saying, oh, the news twisted it. Because I don't think he really wants to say Cornell is a liar. Stay woke, everybody.
Well, here's the thing. He's pretty much saying Cornell's a liar. Not only is Rudy calling you a liar, pretty much, without calling you a liar, the Houston Police Department is calling you a liar. If you got proof, drop it. Why not? I mean, like I said, in my opinion, he did, as far as like an advocate, he did not show him any grace as far as keeping his story quiet, given the Houston PD.
But how do you know he didn't? But listen at this. Brittany, how do you even know he asked him, what do you want me to say? How you know that Rudy didn't say, just tell him everything? So you don't know that.
Well, I just think as an activist, it's very strange that you come straight out the meeting, come straight out the hotel, and you just tell it all.
Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. How do you know the boy didn't give him permission?
Well, even if the boy gave him permission as an activist, you're out here saying he's on drugs and he needs rehab and he needs help and all this stuff. I would think he would use his better judgment, I guess I should say.
Okay, but if you start telling people, Brittany, that a person needs help, they're going to ask you, what are you talking about?
Well, he said
this is why I told you, you have to think before you speak. In an interview, you can't leave shit open-ended. So if I go to the news and say, he's got to get some help, I'm going to ask you, help with what?
Well, there could be a number of things. The fact that he's had to been locked up for 8 years. I mean, he could have just let it ride with that. But I felt like if this story is true, I do feel like that Quanell X re-victimized him by coming right out and spitting it all out instead of, letting the police department. I just feel like as an activist, that's not what you do.
The police is denying the allegations, so how is he a victim? Because you still got to have a receipt that she actually did those things.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think...
Because we don't really know if the allegations are true or not. Because he's now saying, no, that didn't happen. The media has twisted things. Still not calling Quanell X out as I'm the person that told Quanell these things, and he went to the news and told it. Don't you see what's going on? He ain't trying to say anything bad about Quanell because he knows his mother is the one that went and got that man involved in the first damn place. He's still talking in circles. In a roundabout way.
I mean, if Quanell has a video and it comes out and saying everything that Quanell said, that Rudy said, that won't surprise me either. I don't feel like Rudy's being honest either.
Right.
Push or make me uncomfortable when I would say stop, and she's like, "Oh, why? What did I do? I didn't do anything wrong, And then I would just like, okay, I didn't do anything wrong, and just leave it at that, just push my boundaries if you want to do whatever you had to do, and I would just be like a people pleaser, but I didn't have people to please, just my mom. I didn't have anybody to take care of or, help understand me. It was just her all the time, my mom.
How hard has it been right now? I know that this is the only person you feel like you have had, and now that you're separated, how hard is it to make that distinction right now? Do you want to talk to her?
No, not really. I don't want any contact with her at all. I just want to live my life away from her. She can do whatever she wants. I don't care. I just want to live my life. I want to have a family, a job, a car, just a house. I just want to live my life.
Is he really crying in this interview? He wants a life. He don't want to talk to her. He wants her to go on. He wants to go on with his life. He wants to live. Will he be able to do that? Because what skills does he have if he's been groomed sexually, mentally?
I think that, he'll be able to go on and live a life.
Groomed to lie. But Brittany, if you've been taught to lie, how are you going to navigate in the world?
Just like all these other liars in the world.
Oh my
they
God.
seem to make it just fine.
I can't.
I'm just saying, it's a little different from being held captive. I guess that's a different. He was out working. Obviously, he knows how to, function. He was conversating with the neighbors. He had a friend that he hung out with in the garage or whatever it was. I mean, so it's a little different to me than, he's been held captive for 8 years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I would think it would be a little harder for a 25-year-old to, try to start your life. It honestly sounds like he's been doing whatever he wants, not whatever he wants, but living life. But he has to make sure he comes home to his mama, is what it sounds like to me.
But she's all he knows. That's why I said there's a flip side of this story. No matter what you believe is the truth. If these two are scammers, schemers, she's groomed him. He doesn't really want to hurt her feelings, but he also wants to be away from her. You don't know them. And you really don't know what to believe. Journey says he is not crying. He sounds just like his mother in that 2017 news update. So basically you're saying what? He's faking. And why would somebody want their child to fake taking drugs and overdosing? That's strange to me.
Very strange.
Was it for her to get some type of pills or narcotics herself? What? Or attention? Bernadette says, or they're all scammers. Could be.
I mean, it could just be to get him in the hospital, to possibly get a picture of him in a hospital bed, to upload it to her scamming.
A GoFundMe, yes. Mm-hmm. He's sick, he's not well, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, now let's start asking for money. Very true. Could be. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to play the audio. What you got to say?
I was going to say, I feel bad saying this, but I don't believe what he's saying. It all seems very strange, and he's talking in circles. I mean, is this like almost a new scheme for his new come up? You know, it's for him to. He's okay. He's lived with his mom. He knows how to buy and scheme.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And to get what he needs from the public. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For his new life he wants to live, kind of.
So let's go here. Did he deliberately lie in front of the church? Bingo card.
I think that's a very good possibility. I've not thought of that.
You know, Queen thinks of everything.
I did not think
Did Rudy Farias lie in front of a church to get attention? To end this lie number one of him being missing, and now all eyes on me. Finally.
Yeah, because I do not know a lot about what the whole incident as far as him being laid in front of this church. You know, think about it, it's very interesting that you would happen to fall out in front of a church out of all places. I mean, how lucky could you be?
Bernadette says
but,
yes. Journey says yes.
There was something mentioned about, you know, an ambulance, so it didn't seem like he had to go to the hospital immediately. So, I mean, it's very interesting that this was all part of his scheme.
Is Rudy Farias scamming the public? He's feeding off of Miss Santana, his mother. Mommy goes and gets Cornell X. He spends a version to him. Then he flips it and changes it. Is this double juggling? And Cornell X was the pawn. Bernadette says, what else can they do now? Oh, honey, are you really asking that question? He's got you all's attention. Hello, I have a video up here. I'm live streaming about him. Do you really want to ask that question?
He says he never thought it would go this far. He never thought it would make national news.
Here's my way out to freedom. She's been using me. I get her back. All eyes on me now. I will be the center of attention. The missing kid, 17-year-old. People will help me, give me aid, place to live, clothes. Probably new phone, iPad. Y'all better stay woke.
Yep.
Place to live.
I get this is how he's grown up, so I don't
schooling,
necessarily put him
education, technical training, whatever it is he wants to do. Journey says, truth never changes, lie does.
I don't want her to keep going back to those negative thoughts she always has on me. I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired of this thoughts.
And what are those negative thoughts, Rudy? What was Miss Santana instilling in you that was negative? Any ideas, Brittany?
I don't know.
Okay.
Activity around that house, and I hate it. Seems like every time she comes around me, it just fuels negativity into me. Like she's just downloading it into my brain over and over, and I don't like it.
Did she make you, were there ever times where police would come to your house to check on you that you recall?
I think at one point.
Did you have interaction with the police, or did your mom make you hide? Like, how were you able to get away? And the police mentioned some fake names. Did you actually speak to the police ever?
Like once or twice. Maybe once when I was driving my mom's car and they pulled us over because, she wasn't feeling good. She had took some pain medicine after a surgery and, she was struggling to drive. So like, just get over, just get in the passenger seat. I'll take you home. It's not too far, And yeah, they pulled me over for something like that, but I don't remember what name I gave them. She told me, just say something else, say a different name because they don't, they're gonna arrest you. I'm just like, why can't I just tell them my name?
What was it like? I mean, 8 years without seeing some of your closest family members, and every time they'd come over, what would you have to do?
Hide. If my uncles and my aunts came to visit my mom, or my family would come to visit my grandma, that's the main reason they would go over there to see my grandma. And I would just have to listen to my family be happy and cheerful on the other side of the door. And I'm just like, hey, I want my families, I just want people. I just want communication. I just want people to understand that we need to start talking more and just stop, like.
Did you want to just end it right there and go out and tell them that you're here and you're okay?
I just want them to know that I wanted to scream for them, but at the same time, I just couldn't because the only person I was able to trust was my mom. She told me so many things about my other family that I didn't know. I wasn't able to verify.
Was your grandma living with you at one point?
Yes.
What did Janie Santana tell him about the family? He heard them being happy in the other room. He wanted to join them, be around them. Why didn't you just bust out and ask, what's going on? Why you all aren't getting along with my mom or this and that? Why not just come out and ask, Mr. Rudy? Will you try to reconnect with these relatives now? What did she tell him about the family negatively?
And did you have a relationship with your grandmother? Like, did you have to stay away from your grandmother while she was living in the home? Or did you interact with her as if you were never, you know what I mean? Like if he was never missing. It's all odd. Nothing's clear. Nothing's there. There's no transparency here at all.
I'm just trying to understand how a person could just keep staying in a room and never say anything.
I mean, maybe when he was younger, I could kind of understand that. Yeah, you listen to your mom. But up in your teens and your 20s, and you're supposed to be missing, and no.
Well, how long? It's probably a stupid question. How long does she think this is going to go on? Because 8 years is really a long time.
It is. I mean, that's crazy to me.
Bernadette said it's all a
That's
lie.
my problem with the aunt getting up there saying that, the grandmother had said, oh, Rudy's here, I see him. Okay, well, I just can't imagine my niece or nephew being missing and somebody tells me they know where they are, and I would spend every day trying to figure out where they are.
And that's where there's a problem. Police not knowing these people. All these run-ins with the police, holding him mentally hostage in the house. But then yet we hear he's been visiting neighbors the past year or so. Grandmother was trying to tell other family members, I see him, he's here. But Janie tries to tell them, oh, she's got dementia, blah, blah, blah. Pauline says she was mistreating the mother. She had bed sores, this and that. So who last had custody of the mother? Janie, I guess. Did she get any money from the mother passing? Life insurance policies, whatever. Does she have a life insurance policy on Mr. Farias? If so, how much is it? Did she ever try to consider hurting her child, harming her child, murdering her child for the collection of an insurance policy? Is he telling us the truth about his relationship with his mother? I think most people want to know that now. And what's going to happen with Mr. Quardell X? Is he now going to come out and give us a version of why this boy is now acting like what he told the public is not the truth? Because Rudy has denied saying anything negative about his mother. So where would Mr. Quardell get this information, and why would he repeat these things knowing it's not the truth?
He does make it clear he doesn't want to see her anymore.
But is that the truth?
I don't know.
And you had interact. So, and she tried to tell people that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
She had Alzheimer's. Was she sick?
She had Alzheimer's and dementia, sundown syndrome. She had a bunch of medical issues,
You
and
say
that's
sundown
why I
syndrome?
took care of her the best I could.
And did she ever say to you anything about Rudy? Go out, tell police, like did she ever say anything to you? Because it seems like she tried to tell family members that you were there.
Yeah, I think she tried telling people, but it's just my mom. I don't know. I'm honestly not sure about that one.
He's not sure about that one. Brittany?
He's not sure about anything that we need clarification on. That's just it. He's
I
not
don't
sure
remember.
why
I don't
she said he
remember.
kicked her out.
And I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, but it's just my mom. I don't know. I'm honestly not sure about that one.
Do you feel like your mom held you captive? Is that how you would?
Pretty much. I mean, in a sense, just not in a physical, restraints or anything, but mentally, she held me against my will, which is, I wanted to just come out and say stuff and be honest. And every time I would try to, she would just either be, no, don't do it, or, all right, go do it.
Why do you think she did that?
I don't know. It's because maybe a lot of both of our problems stemmed from my brother passing away. My brother had passed away, and ever since then, he was like our glue. He was like the father figure. He's a provider. He took care of the family.
He was the provider, the glue, held the family together. So is this the reason why the mother latched on to this child here? What is the age difference between the deceased brother and Rudy Farias? Bernadette says, I feel bad for QX. He was used. Why did they pick him specifically? I don't know, but I think they chose him because he's very active in the community in Houston and the surrounding areas. And they knew that with this man representing them, he could get the word out for whatever message they wanted to send. But they didn't really get a message out because he talked first about the boy, didn't speak to the mother because he believed the allegations that the boy gave to him allegedly, and now the boy is denying those said things that Mr. Q has repeated to the news.
Yep, I agree.
But there was a reason for picking Mr. X, most definitely, because they knew he would be visible and people would be listening. And now look how that turned out.
Me and my mom. And then when I couldn't take care of my mom anymore, I had to take care of my grandma. And it was difficult. It was especially at the end.
Did you see your mom change her personality over the years?
She was always kind of had that mentality, try to talk to her about something positive and then, or address her issues. And then my mom would just deviate, sidetrack, or completely ignore it. Especially stuff like mental health.
This is your chance, finally. We've heard from family members. We've heard from police. It's finally your chance to tell your story. Is there anything that you want people to know about what happened to you?
I wanted to live my life, and just something inside of my brain kept going back to her. She was my life support in a sense. I needed her. Or at least she made me feel that way. She never gave me the confidence or the guidance or the teaching that I needed. She never gave me anything other than just the bare necessities and a job worth slaving over to help her pay bills and debts or whatever, or tickets and stuff,
Without getting into
debts, tickets, and stuff. So was she getting tickets? He worked where exactly? He's saying that again. He slaved for a job. Beginning of this live stream, he says he only made $60 a week for 12 hours. Did he go to school? Did he graduate? Does he have a high school diploma? Rudy Farias. Bernadette says Mama and Rudy both need to sit in front of a judge. Well, we will see if the GoFundMe organization will ask for monies back, paid back. We will also see if the court, if a warrant will be served for her filing a false report, because Jacqueline and Giselle, they were found guilty for the same thing, filing a report that their children were missing. So it can be done. That shouldn't even be a problem. But what would the penalty be for lying and defrauding the GoFundMe organization? Brittany, you want to add something?
No, I don't have any.
Specifics. I'm sure you've heard or seen what Quanell told the media last week
About what in particular?
about things that
What?
he says that you told him in that hotel room last week.
Specifically.
About some of the sexual things.
See, that's what I'm saying. The twisting. No, I didn't say anything like intercourse or this and that.
But
Like,
I don't necessarily think he didn't get into specifics like that either, but he did mention that your mom wanted you to play the role of husband in the house.
yeah, pretty much. It basically felt like that. Like, make sure to cook, or, oh, you didn't make me any food, you didn't do this and that. It's just like, I just want to provide for myself. I don't want to.
So Quanell didn't make that up. You did tell him those things. Your mother wanted you to play daddy, the role of a man, a husband. He may have been more elaborate in how he explained it, but it's still the same, really. What is the truth, Rudy? What happened in the house with your mother? Did your mother go off the deep end when your brother died and she wanted you to take over the role as caregiver, provider, work, play daddy, boyfriend? Or she was just too attached to you? Did your mother touch you inappropriately? That's what we want to know. And what was the end game for you never going around your family and you staying in that house? What was the end game? Brittany.
I don't know what the end game is here. I don't. It all still seems to be some scheming and lies going on, in my opinion.
Okay.
Keep providing for my mom. I just treat it like a roommate towards the end, like, I'm tired of being your son. I just want to be your roommate. I just want to live my life. Give me my check instead of.
Give me my check. Does he draw disability? How about that? Because why would he be asking his mother for a check? Stay woke, everybody. Stop the journey to my money, dinner, and a movie. I'm dead. You all are horrible. Does he draw disability? Any type of disability?
How can he if he's been missing? Or you mean now?
He would have been drawing a check still. Well, they would have cut it off if she told him he was missing, I would assume. They would stop the check.
It's possible he'll try that now, but my thing is you've been working, sounds like.
But under which name though, remember? Because you gotta remember he's been using aliases. Hold on. Let's hear this for a second.
She would make you go to work with her, is that?
Yes, ma'am.
And then we don't want to twist your words. We want to say it from your perspective, and we want to make sure we get this right. So I know she had you play the role of a father, but as far as sexual assault or something of that nature, did she ever force? You don't have to go into detail, but
she didn't force herself on me or anything like that. Like, it wouldn't be anything like I would have to go get a rape kit or go file a police report. It would never be anything like that. Just stuff that really made me uncomfortable, and I didn't have any references or other people to bounce off of to understand that, like, if it's a healthy thing that she does or not. Maybe it's just me not understanding how people work because she's the only person I understand. But
Would you say that you and your mom have a normal son-mother relationship?
I mean, not after all of that. Not after everything she did. And to be honest, I don't want one with her.
When you finally left a few weeks ago, when you were found at the church, what happened? Did you just finally have enough?
Yeah, I just been walking. I just wanted to get away. I didn't care if I had a car, money, or anything. I don't care about money. I don't care about a car. I don't care about anything. Just happiness and love.
How did you end up at the church? Did you just have nowhere to go?
I just kept walking around. I just kept trying to find back home, something that felt familiar. And the only thing that felt familiar was this side of town. I grew up over there by Austin and Humble and Jackson and all that, Jackson and or Austin and, just that general area by the freeway,
So he went by his home, and allegedly, Quanell said the mother never moved. So why wouldn't you still take the same fortitude to walk toward a family member's house over the years while she was wanting you to hide in the room?
I don't know.
So he's telling on himself now. Why not go find these relatives? You could have burst out the room at any time. Hey, it's me, I'm here. But on this one fateful day, you're tired of her, and you go sit in front of a church, lay in front of a church to end this ruse your mother cooked up of you missing. You believe that? Journey says his mother paid him.
What?
Okay, Journey says his mother paid him, and then Bernadette says before that, really, what was the end game? I think Rudy wanted to move on, but Mama was still collecting off of some sort of fun. Bernadette says, I don't believe him. Sorry, he doesn't sound sincere.
I mean, no, I don't think he sounds sincere. I don't think the aunt's sincere either.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's some issues with Pauline too. Journey says, nope, it took too long.
I kind of got a general sense of where I was going, but I just couldn't find something to be happy at. Just I found a church and I rolled with being at a church.
Are you still talking with your mom?
No, I don't want any contact with her, but she keeps trying to come around.
If she sees this story, what would you tell her?
Just leave me alone. Just let me live my life. Just to be happy, and I'm happy now. And I'm working on it.
Rudy, what would you say to people that think that somehow, now that you're an adult, that you were in on this? What would you say to those people that don't understand Stockholm?
It's very much a real thing. It's a struggle when you're the only one that understands it. It's even worse when everybody wants to assume the worst rather than understand and communicate genuinely and honestly, because there's just too much confusion in this world.
How are you feeling now? Is there relief?
Yeah, very much. A lot of relief. It just feels like I'm just at peace now. It just feels happy,
And how have police been handling this, do you think? What have they been saying to you, and what's it been like?
I mean, they're trying the best that they can and giving me space that they can, but it's a struggle still, I'm just slowly trying to take it one day at a time, it's just a lot it overwhelms me very much.
Some of you in the chat believe that he's in on the scam with his mother. I can get that. Maybe he told QX the truth, and then after she told him to not talk about it, sexual abuse anymore, he's changing it up. Could she have something to do with it? Well, allegedly, that's what Quanell said. She walked in and said, did you tell them about our relationship. Allegedly, he said yeah or nodded. And so that's when Cornell said, well, that's when he knew, something was nefarious going on with them.
And it's literally through the colors. Like I said, I'm not saying, oh, there's corrupt cops and this and that. Literally, it's a corruption of the mind. It's through nanobots and it's through the flu vaccines and everything. That's what.
See, he's talking in circles. What does the flu vaccine, COVID, Pookieville have to do with what happened with you and your mother in that house? Algorithms, color blocks. What does it have to do with the subject matter? I do believe they used Mr. Cornell X. Perhaps hold on a minute.
It just confuses us whenever we look at white things.
Let me go back.
Distracted.
Because I got to pause some of this stuff.
What's it been like?
I think he's been groomed to some degree. And
I definitely think he is.
and
As
he's
much as I think he's
choosing
part of
to do this, the rest of this junk, whatever the hell is going on. QX has not come forward with any recordings. He knows they lied. Yeah, what is there to say now? He probably feels funny even saying, yeah, I realize they've lied to me. They used me. Both lied to me. And this
YouTube.
Listen,
He knows about the algorithm.
and then the YouTuber that's sitting up here filming and talking, you're getting used too. Why you think you reporting a story and shedding light on this bullshit, you're being bamboozled and hoodwinked for views and likes for your channel. How about that? So all this pumping up like you run into the news and YouTube to sell a story, all of you all are being hoodwinked about both of them. The news, Cornell, and this YouTuber. And that's just how it's looking right now. Let me go back.
The people that think that somehow, now that you're an adult, that you were in on this, what would you say to those people that don't understand Stockholm?
It's very much a real thing. It's a struggle when you're the only one that understands it. It's even worse when everybody wants to assume the worst rather than understand and communicate genuinely and honestly, because there's just too much confusion in this world.
How are you feeling now? Is there relief?
Yeah, very much. A lot of relief. It just feels like I'm just at peace now. It just feels happy,
And how have police been handling this, do you think? What have they been saying to you and what's it been like?
They're trying the best that they can and giving me space that they can, but it's a struggle still, I'm just slowly trying to take it one day at a time, it's just a lot it overwhelms me very much.
Given everything that you've been through and with your mom, do you think there's something that police should know about?
There's a lot of corruption.
Ask it again.
And it's literally through the colors. Like I said, I'm not saying,
He's basically asking him in a roundabout way, is there something else you want to say? So he's already been asked that question about sexual abuse. He said no. So this reporter is basically asking him the same damn question without saying sexual abuse, molested. He's now talking about colors. There's something in the colors. I don't know if this is an act or he's mentally gone. Is he schizophrenic? That's another thing I wanted to mention. Bernadette says, I want to hear from the mom. I've heard from everyone else. Well, she's probably going to lie because she's already been known as a liar. For Pauline, neighbors saying she's trying to pay them to go in the house and break in the house and take stuff out the house. So anything she says at this point will be null and void. It would be pointless to listen to anything she has to say. What do you have to say about that, Brittany?
Yeah, I think she would definitely just lie.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to hear in a way what she would have to say about all of these allegations. I mean, because everybody's not a liar. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't believe everything Rudy said. I don't believe everything the aunt said. But when it comes to the neighbors, they don't have a reason to lie. They don't know, you know? And I just have a hard time believing all these people are, making up that she's paying them to do this, trying to pay them to do this. I mean, what an idiot. She clearly hasn't learned her lesson. She just keeps digging herself a hole, it sounds like.
Because she's been doing it a long time, and that's what happens when you lie. You can't stop. Can't stop.
There's corrupt cops and this and that. Literally, it's a corruption of the mind. It's through nanobots and it's through the flu vaccines and everything. That's why people have that first memory of waking up and being alive whenever they're a kid. It's like I said, literally corruption, like the colors. I'm not talking about the skin tones. I literally mean actual colors. Whenever you look at them, they influence the direction you go. And online, the media, like the computers and the people we talk to, it's all connected in a sense. That's why it just confuses us. Whenever we look at white things, we get distracted and stuff. And we look at the reds and we remind us that it's love, but they kind of influence us to assume, like through bad stuff online. They're like, oh, red's bad, it's evil, it's a devil. It's like, it's not all that.
For 8 years, you haven't really been able to speak to anyone besides some neighbors, your mom, going to work sometimes. Your communication seems like it's been very little. Do you think that's impacted you throughout the years as not being able to really have real relationships with people?
Exactly. I wasn't able to understand how people thought or acted, like I would try to introduce myself, say hello to people online or this and that, and every time it just seemed like, just completely get shot down by people, and I'm just trying to make friends or socialize, and it's just like I don't understand how to talk to people sometimes. It feels like I'm speaking a completely different language than them, and I just don't understand sometimes.
Would you call yourself a victim?
Yes, heavily.
I'm almost done, personally. I don't know about you guys, but for the longest time, you've stayed hidden. You haven't been able to say who you are. Is it nice? I mean, you can say who you are now. You can be your own self and do your own life.
Yes, sir.
What are you hoping?
Just a job, get my own money, and help out my communities, help out my people, and help out other kids like me. Because I don't want this to happen to other people, because I'm sure it happens to a lot of people. A lot of abuse and just neglect and just harmful ways of parenting that shouldn't be out there. There's just so many negative ways that kids are just getting abused and they don't understand or realize that there's no help for them.
Another question that we have for you is, so it's totally up to you or not. At first, we weren't going to because of the sexual assault aspect, but we want to put the record straight that you said that part's not true.
Yes,
do you want to show your face or you don't want to show your face?
I'm not a big fan of showing my face, especially with a lot of people already knowing what I look like. It just makes it even worse.
I just want to make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Rudy, we got you.
Anything we didn't ask that you think is important that you want us to mention, because we are here to finally tell your story. Anything that we didn't ask that you want to make sure people know about?
Somebody in the chat said he called himself a kid. Guess that glazed over that. Oh, Lord mercy.
People know about?
Here, the friend talk.
Just all I can say is just spread positivity and love.
The people that you're with, a lot of people are coming down hard on Nikki and the people
They
you're
don't
with.
deserve it. They don't. They really don't. They help me so much, and they've given me a place to stay and a family, in a sense. It makes me happy.
Yep.
It really does. I never had, a lot of people to talk with or socialize with, and it just makes me happy knowing that I have people here that I can trust and that can take care of me and that understand that, sometimes people struggle.
So you consider yourself safe, out of harm, all that, right? Like you're with.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm happy here. I'm very happy here, and they're very good people. They don't deserve any negativity towards them or hatred. They should have a lot of help and support and guidance and just prayers and positivity, just everything that anybody would need to be happy in life, just.
And your mom, when she comes by, do you feel like, you are being like kept away from her when she comes and stops by or tries to talk to you?
I just don't want her here because I know the way she acts, it influences everybody around me. It's not just me. It's like she sends that negativity towards me and then I send it back out towards everybody else, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
I know Rudy was mentioning that you might have had like someone from your high school reach out, and you've had a lot of attention from this a girl.
Yeah. You got some classmates, man, when you were going to to Catholic school. You got some classmates reaching out, which I told you about. Any messages to all the people that know you from before all this went down, that love you, that say they're here for you?
Just thank you very much for reaching out. And when I'm ready, I'll be able to reach out to the people I care about and love. And
Are you surprised by all this attention? I mean, it's been on the news across the world.
I wasn't expecting that much attention, to be honest. I didn't realize that it was happening so big, just growing so much.
Are you going to take, I know police mentioned that there were some resources. Are you plans to talk to anybody that they put you in touch with?
At some point. It's just right now, I just rather do it by myself, just try to learn to understand how to live and be a normal person,
Have you gotten
and be nice.
Have you gotten an attorney?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Lawyer? No.
No, sir. Not that I'm aware of.
And then, have you talked to Quanell since you saw him at the hotel?
No.
No.
No, sir.
Anything else you want to add, Rudy?
Just spread some positivity. Spread wildflower, not wildfire, because we need more colors and beauty in this world. We don't need any more hatred or burning things down. We need to just stop, trying to disassemble everything and just take out the bolts and the screws and try to clean things, instead of looking at everything so negatively. Just look at all the positivity in the world. Focus on the positivity, because every time you focus on the negativity, it just creates more negativity around you and your communities.
That's my commentary. I mean, that's the audio. Cut this mess off. Still talking in circles about positivity, passing on positivity, basically not answering the questions they're asking. He has no plans to see his mother. He has not spoken to Quanell since this interview. Why not? He blames the media for twisting his words or somebody's words. But in the end, as I said before, your mother went and looked for Quanell. Quanell said you asked to speak to him alone. You spun this web of this kissing and boundaries crossed and shower scenes and all that. And now you want to blame the media. I do believe you all chose Mr. Quanell for some reason. I do not know if you're schizophrenic or you have a mental defect or disorder or what. But something is still off with the story. All these years, she never came forward to admit she found her child because her child was never missing, which is you. Pauline, I have a problem with her as well, leaving the mother in the care of your mother, knowing she was not taken care of. Why you never went and tried to find these relatives and tell them the truth of how your mother was treating you. But you was able to roam to the neighbors down the sidewalk. I don't know what's the truth, because you don't have a timeline of anything. Everything is brother died, got a ticket, this and that, but there's no sequence. And I have a problem when there's no sequence. And I'm not out to try to make this young man a liar, but something's still off with the story. That's it. Hello?
Yes, sorry, I couldn't hear well.
Go
I'd
ahead.
be interested in the neighbor friend speaking, because he sounds like he doesn't know how to talk to people. He's saying that he feels like he speaks another language when he's trying to say hi to people. He tries to introduce himself in chat rooms. It'd be interesting to hear the neighbor friend talk, to see is he really this socially awkward? Is this just a scam too?
Mhm.
I mean, because it sounds like you were hanging out with your neighbor, and I don't know.
So what needs to be repeated is what actually did they talk about? And what is their assessment of his vocabulary and his aptitude? What is the highest grade he has finished? What kind of work was he doing with the mother? Was he doing her job work, or he went and got a job somewhere? And there's no way he worked 12 hours a day and only made $60 a week. So what is he implying there? So you don't know what to believe. And what would be sad is if he is indeed lying. He's lied to Mr. Cornell about what really happened in the house with his mother. Nothing happened with him and his mother. Then one would have to say, why would you tell Mr. Cornell that? Because I do not believe Mr. Cornell made that stuff up. When both of you used the word boundaries, I knew then you told him about the alleged kissing, her wanting you in the bed with her naked, and you want to sleep on the floor, and the shower scenes and all that. Cornell, I don't believe that man gonna make up no shit like that. That's stupid. Well, neighbors don't have to know what's going on, sweetheart, because if they don't go in his house to see how he's living, how are they going to know what's going on?
Well, when I say the neighbors, I mean he's acting so awkward. If these people was hanging out with this kid or whatever, man, whatever he was, you would, what did you conversate about? Did you ever pick up on anything that was odd?
The woman said the mother kept calling and he wouldn't respond. He would ignore. Why did he have sunglasses on? He was high. He said he can't talk to people, but he has been talking to everyone.
Yeah, don't sound like he's been quiet.
Well, I just want to know why he made up that stuff to Cornell, and why would you do that when your mother is the one that went and looked for him and got him involved in this case when you were allegedly discovered. So that might make you think that maybe there is some nefarious behavior on both of their parts, that this could be a scheme. She told him to go out and lay in front of the church. Then he was found by police, and then one thing begat another, and she went and found Cornell, and the rest is history. Is that the truth?
Yeah, maybe she didn't know that Rudy would turn on her to want to be completely away from her after he was found. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Could be. He's walking around.
Crazy.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna be truthful. All I'm gonna say is what I've already said. Something's off with the story. Because I do not believe Cornell made all that stuff up. So he never said he had sex with the mother. That's not what he said. He just said, what do you think was going on? That's what he said to a reporter. But that's the point. He got that information from this guy. I don't believe Cornell made that up. Because basically he was letting you know, I didn't say he had sex with his mom, but he said, what do you think was going on if he's in the bed with her naked? So that means the obvious. He got it from Rudy. That man ain't made that shit up. So I'd like to know, Rudy, why would you tell this man this and then try to make it seem like the news twisted it? Because people are going to think you had a relationship with your mother, a physical relationship, because of what you allegedly told Cornell about sleeping in the bed naked. Why would I want a naked man in my bed and not touch him? Ask yourself that. Whether it be a son or not. Sick as that sounds. I believe the family members, some of them, should have pressed through. I think it's sickening that the police department had no idea that you were in that house all alone. The private detective, all that should have been found out that you were in that house. So work was not done thoroughly. No canines used, no dogs used. That's strange to me. Because all roads would have led right back to that house. Driveway, pavement. the dogs would have picked up on your scent. This is bullshit. The mother introduced Quanell to this story. That's why I don't believe Quanell's lying. He doesn't know these people from a can of paint, allegedly. The son was found, Quanell was called. Well, the mother called Quanell, and then Quanell probably called the police to say, here, you need to come hear this information. He was missing allegedly, so the police were going to be called anyway. It is what it is. Brittany, you want to say anything before I check out of here?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. I'll talk to you a little later. Okay, bye-bye. I'm a bit solemn through this live stream because, as I said, I'm very tired, and there's just something not right here. And no matter what you've heard bad or negative about Quanell, his past with other people, missing people, that still has nothing to do with this story. Okay? Something's off. And allegedly she went and found this man, Miss Santana. And this boy allegedly turned on his mother and gave up this information to Mr. Quanell. Now, Brittany feels like he was re-victimizing him, but it can't be re-victimizing when we don't even know what's the truth or not. So did the mother sexually assault her son, violate his persons, step over the boundaries? Will he see his mother again, be around his mother? Was she codependent on the other son, the one that died? And then she latched onto this kid and was afraid she was going to lose this kid. And this is when she started making up stuff. Does she have an insurance policy on the kid? Her grown kid, rather. Did she ever think about harming her grown kid, Rudy? What is going to happen to him now? Because I do believe he's been groomed by her. But there could be this other sick part of the story that he's been going along willingly as a willing participant to scheme, scam, whatever. I don't know. And that's the whole point. You're never going to know. You'll have to get phone records and all that to get to the gist of this story. I want to thank you for joining me because this is a wicked tale coming out of Houston, Texas. What is going to happen to Mr. Farias? Will he be able to navigate on his own, work, live, mate, make children, go to school? What's going to happen with the mother? Will there be charges brought up for her lying, filing a false report of a missing son? State says he was legally grown. But she still filed the report, so that's still a lie. So she probably can get some fines for that. Also, charged with fines for investigations. But I still believe they dropped the ball in not getting to the truth that he was never missing. Private investigator, same thing. The Aunt Pauline, same thing. You all should have been known that he was in the house all the time. Because in the world I live in, people talk and people gossip. And when you heard your mother say he was there, you should have believed her. And you all had your own public opinions about Santana not being above board with her actions and demeanor. You should have followed through. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $BeGanji, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during my live stream. I will bring you more commentary as I get it on this story and other breaking news. Please take the polls on my community page. I'm going to look up the last poll I did on this story pertaining to these two, and let's see what you all have to say about his involvement in this story. Thank you for joining me. Did Rudy Farias lie on his mom and to Quanell X? 26% of you said yes. No, 74% out of 90 votes. Does police know about Rudy Farias' sex abuse allegations against mom? 88% of you said yes. 13% of you said no, 88 votes. Will Rudy Farias tell the truth about his mom and sexual abuse allegations? 60% of you said yes, 40% of you said no, 92 votes. Did Cornell X lie about sexual abuse by Janie? 19% of you said yes, 81% of you said no, 88 votes. That's my said commentary. So 81% of you do not believe Cornell made this up. Okay? And 60% of you believe he told the truth about the sexual abuse with his mother. A little more than half. It's a wicked story. I pray the truth comes out, because the worst thing a person can do is lie to the public and get people involved. Ooh, sorry about that. Messing with my light when I pull that plug out my computer. Sorry about that. The worst thing you can do is mislead the public, law enforcement, because there are people out there that are missing, sick, violated, and it's not right to take up resources. So that's one thing people need to understand, is that when you go to the police and you make up stuff, you're taking resources away from the community. Now, I do believe he's been groomed probably all the way up to 17, okay? Still up until 26 as of late. And she is all he knows. So even if he don't like listening to the negativity, the comments, the invading his personal space, any type of touching, groping, if that did happen, he still hung around her. And that's where a lot of people are going to have a problem. But the flip side of that is, if he has any type of mental defect, that would be why he would still hang around her, because he hasn't learned anything and been taught anything. I do believe some of the stuff in this video is very offhanded, very weird. All this talking about algorithms and color blocks and colors and the internet and being influenced by the internet. All that had nothing to do with the subject matter at hand. The subject matter was about him, his mother, and Mr. Cornell X and sexual abuse allegations. And yes, he did answer, no, nothing happened, but he still talked about other things that had nothing to do with the subject. And that would lead me to believe he's either making this stuff up or he is truly mentally gone. You're entitled to your opinion. I'll be back with more stimulating conversation. And look for my next video. I'm going to try to do a video about O.J. Simpson. Let's go back in time and talk about what happened with Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. Did O.J. kill them? Do you believe justice was served? He's denying any type of heart attack issue while he had some type of emergency surgery. We're going to dig into that. We're going to go back in time, back to 1994, and discuss the murders of Nicole and Ron. Relationships with his children. How do they feel about him now? Do they believe he's still innocent? Do you believe he's innocent? Or that he got off? Until the next time, you have been listening to The Vault XL. Thank y'all so much.